Class is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tracey Sierra. I would like to thank you for joining us this morning for our presentation called Preparing to Pivot, Bridging Face-to-Face, Hybrid and Remote Learning. This is presented with VHS Learning, and all of us here at VHS would like to thank you all for taking a few moments out of your stressful days of summer. And in order to honor everyone's time, the webinar is going to be recorded and shared for you to peruse at your convenience. If you have any questions today, please type them into the chat box. My colleague is monitoring your questions, and I will answer as applicable. If you have a specific question about your school, myself or a colleague, we will follow up with you, or a colleague or I will follow up with you after the webinar. Well, there I am. My name is Tracey Sierra. I just want to introduce myself very quickly. I am an educational partnership manager for VHS Learning in the New England region. Prior to beginning VHS Learning this year, I am a recently retired educator in Massachusetts for 20 years. I recently completed about 17 years at a local vocational high school. I taught middle school for 3 years. During the time at my last job, I was a teacher mentor, a lead mentor, and student government advisor for 12 years. I'm sure you can imagine I've chaperoned a lot of proms and field trips in my day. I hope they get back to being able to hold them very soon. Along the way, my 2 children came into my life, and they are both now in high school. What this means is that I appreciate both aspects of the situation, that of the educator and the parent. And I must tell you, as an educator, I would be starting to sweat a little bit right now. Anticipation would be starting to build. Anticipation for that first day. It's such an important day for everyone. Students, parents, teachers, every one of us wants to put on their best face and put it forward and set a tone that will resonate all year and be able to radiate confidence and organization. If you've ever had a bad first day, you understand how long it can take for all the elements of success to fall into place afterwards. I'm sure that you can appreciate that confidence may be lacking this year. We hope to present a plan that can better bolster confidence and provide structure so all parties can look forward to great days ahead. I'm going to quickly just cover our agenda with you. I'm going to spend just a few minutes introducing VHS Learning. We're going to be reviewing, as the bulk of this presentation, a 3-step process, which entails picking your classes, training your teachers, and to begin your year with confidence. And then at the end, we are going to check out a sneak peek. If you are going to want to take a deeper dive into a course, we can arrange that. Once again, please put your name in the chat and we will arrange to meet with you. As the slide says, VHS Learning is a nonprofit leader, providing world-class online programs to middle and high school level students and students around the world. We use our mission statement and our vision statements as a guiding principle in everything we do, every course we create and every teacher that we train. We are here to create successful students, not only in one course, although we do understand that is very important, but as lifelong learners. Our courses are designed not only to deliver curriculum, but to enforce processes and constructs that work to help people learn online. And if COVID has shown us anything, is that online learning is definitely beneficial in many ways, and of course, a wave of the future. In our next slide, we're just going to show some of the benefits of VHS Learning. As a nonprofit, VHS Learning is quality-driven rather than profit-driven. We are dedicated to our students' success and maximizing your resources to do so. All VHS Learning courses are facilitated by real, qualified, and certified teachers. 81% of our VHS staff hold a master's degree or higher, and all teachers are certified in their subject matter. In addition, teachers are required to participate in VHS Learning's rigorous graduate level online teacher professional development course. It's called Online Teaching Methodologies in order to pass and in order to teach one of our courses. The average class size is 21:1. This allows for very personal attention and quality feedback. Teachers are trained to be responsive and timely and to facilitate thoughtful discussions in their online classrooms between themselves, personally, and among the students. Every VHS Learning student has a private personal discussion thread to ask questions of their teacher, and I personally love this piece because I know that there are students out there that have individual learning needs and have accommodations by the letter of the law, and this is the opportunity for them to communicate with their teacher and learn to advocate for themselves. Teachers respond within 24 hours, Monday through Friday. Most of the time it's sooner than that, actually. And technical support is available 24/7 as well. VHS Learning includes interactive lessons, group projects, hands-on labs, class discussions, and private chats for students to connect directly with their teacher or each other. And we have found that this connection really helps to promote critical, deeper learning. We do not operate as a school district, state-funded agency, or a for-profit business. We play a unique role as a nonprofit, helping all types of schools expand their course offerings, add scheduling flexibility, meet graduation requirements, and fill staffing gaps. Collaboration among students and teachers is a key to our success here at VHS Learning. VHS Learning courses bring students together from all over the world. I happen to think that's one of the most amazing aspects of what we do here, is this global cohort that is available to students. Our students love meeting peers from around the country and the world, comparing lab data and worldviews with them along the way. There is a video on YouTube, and I can send a link to any of you that wish, that show a young lady talking about how much she gained in the lab portion of environmental science because she was learning from students who were in China and what their environment was over there. While her environment was covered in 2 feet of snow, she was learning about how the rest of the world looked and how they were dealing with the same problems in their learning environment. All right, so why VHS Learning? Why choose to work with us? VHS Learning was the first in the nation to use the internet to connect students from around the country to subject matter experts, removing barriers of access and quality education. We are an example of a successful education grant. We were originally funded in 1996 by the U.S. Department of Education, and we are now a self-sustaining nonprofit. VHS Learning has helped to co-author the very first learning standards for online learning in 1996. And in 2019, we partnered with Quality Matters and Virtual Learning Leadership Alliance to rewrite these standards. We are accredited in the Middle States Association Commissions of Elementary and Secondary Schools and Cognia. Unlike many providers, however, we are approved by NCAA. And when you speak with lots of schools, you realize that that one has the most street cred and definitely gives our courses an edge. Here are some administrator testimonials. I'm just going to give you a few seconds to look them over. When I read through them, I believe that the common thread that I saw is that we offer the benefit of an expansive course catalog that's available to your students and that you can trust the quality. If you have taken online PD, I'm sure all of you have, you realize the components that create a positive and enriching online experience, and you wish to have your teachers bring that to your students as well. And our quality outcomes are going to prove how much satisfaction there is among administration. As the slide says, student pass rates have averaged 91% for the past 5 years. 93% of our participating schools last year have continued to participate this year. And 88% of our superintendents and principals indicated they were very satisfied with our school's VHS Learning experience in our latest survey. We continue to survey our partner schools and track student pass rates each year to ensure quality and inform our updates. Customer satisfaction and success are top priority, and our quality outcomes prove the catalog and our methodologies are what I like to call the lightning in the bottle. They make it work. All right, now we are going to review a 3-step process for your beginning of your year. We know schools are facing many difficult decisions that may change throughout the semester and school year. Our 3-step plan, which as you can see on your screen, is to pick your courses, have your teachers trained, and then begin your year with a confidence and a smile on your face. Allows teachers to seamlessly run their classes no matter what happens. The curriculum exists, the organization structure exists, and teachers can carry the same organizational process over week by week through every day one scenario they might experience, no matter where or by what method they are teaching. The next several slides are going to do a deeper dive into these 3 steps: picking your classes from over the 220 courses we offer, the training process involved, and how this ability to pivot through anything will start your year and continue with a sense of confidence. At this point, I'm going to remind everyone that if you have any questions, to please put them in the chat box, and I'd be happy to address them or forward them to one of my colleagues to follow up. Okay, we're going to go into picking your classes. Schools and students in both middle school and high school can utilize VHS Learning's 200 courses, or 200 plus courses, to meet core requirements, add a variety to elective offerings, make up credits, access AP courses, and more. VHS Learning offers 24 AP courses, and that is more than any other online provider. We also strive to provide both college and career readiness pathways for students through our innovative STEM programs. We have unique core course options and engaging electives. If you know me, you know that I love to talk about these classes. I just am continuously impressed with what I see every time I open one. VHS Learning owns our courses. They are constantly curating them, perfecting them, and updating them. Toward the end of the presentation, I'm going to let you take a peek into some of the content of a class. And again, if you wish to see anything in more detail, please let me know. I think there are many elements that are very impressive and special about what we have done here, and I'd be proud to show them to you. Some other options available to our schools are flexible credit recovery courses, which may be very important this year. They are designed to be taken in a student's own time. It helps them to stay on track and be promoted with their peers. We also have a summer school component. Moving on now to the course design. There are many ways that you teachers can organize their classrooms using VHS Learning content. The content and structure of the courses already exists online. This means your teachers do not have to write any lesson plans, create curriculum, figure out how to modify curriculum to be presented online overnight. I do think it sounds like a dream. From my years of teaching, there were some moments when I would become very stressed out late at night thinking I hadn't quite figured out something and a way to present. This is all going to take all that stress away. VHS Learning can be hybrid or remote or both. If you begin school hybrid and go remote, even if your school goes back and forth more than once, these courses are designed to be consistent and work well online, and to basically bridge the gap between those who are at home or those who are in the classroom in a hybrid situation. And how can we be so sure this is going to work? It's because we have been doing this for 25 years. We feel we've perfected the process, really, and a shift in the way your school is run this year isn't going to affect the quality of the education your students will receive through their VHS Learning curriculum and classes. And students will know that the teacher is there from the beginning and straight through to the end. Because of their established online presence early on, the teacher can easily shift modalities and still provide students the constructs for success. There's simple ways to personalize the course. I will show you those in a bit. Provide teacher access and interaction with students via public and private discussions. There are going to be weekly checklists and clear goals. Your teachers will supply the support needed for the student success. And of course, that does mean more than just passing a test. Courses assess students' knowledge in many ways, not just have them memorize information to pass on at the end of the year or the end of the semester. Students show their understanding of concepts and applications to real-world scenarios through interactive group projects, lively weekly class discussions with peers, and activities that take them off the computer and into the real world. This facilitates students in developing a comfort with online learning that I believe is the goal of many of us as educators, to help them understand the value of being a lifelong learner. And the computer is going to play a role in that, whether they become certified, graduates of college, licensed in certain areas. The computer is going to be the key, and comfort with it will be something they will take away from these courses. Okay, the student support network that we provide is quite extensive and reliable, very reliable. Office hours available if they are needed. A teacher will create synchronous office hours where a person can come in and speak with a teacher or accept kind of a tutorial, but they will also be able to speak to the teachers directly, privately. And there are multiple ways to assess the learning. Again, not just a test, but we will show you an example later that shows how we try and cater to all the many different learning styles that exist out there. We know not all of our students are audiovisual learners. Every modality that could possibly be available to students and attract students of different learning styles is available through our courses. We offer lots of structure, again, and something that I really appreciate about those courses, once again, is that private thread. Each course starts out with community building. I don't know if you used to have some community building exercises in school, or you still do, but I used to. And this was so that the students could get to know me, a co-teacher potentially, and each other. And of course, establish rules and mores for the course. It's really important right now, though, to understand how much this creates community, because I do understand from many educators that I speak to that the creation of a community outside of the brick and mortar is of concern, is paramount concern. And with our exercise at the beginning of this, of the classes, whether you're in person or online, you're both in the same course and you can participate and get to know each other and what the teacher expects from you all through the year. And I have to say, I believe that community building is really at the heart of all the courses that we make and the way our teachers are trained. And in the next slide, we're going to show you student testimonials that I believe show you what they think. I know that I can sit here and talk to you all day, but the words of our students are really what are pivotal and the most important. So here you go. I'll give you a moment to look at them. And these examples of student testimonials reinforce the idea that whether your course is conducted fully online, face-to-face, hybrid, the collaboration exists, and the community is very important to the quality of the courses. Again, I do like to pause every now and then and remind you folks to put your questions in the chat. Our next section is going to be on training your teachers. VHS Learning teachers go through a rigorous graduate level course, preparing them to teach online. When your teacher prepares to teach our courses in your school, in your district, they undergo a quick and easy training process covering logistics of our learning management system, how to build community online, and incorporate your personality into the classroom. Whether it's online or in person or a combination of both, we hope they get to know you well. I have seen many examples of students and many testimonials from students that believe that they actually got to know their teachers better this way because of the constant open personal communication that your teachers will be trained to provide for your students. In our teacher training, teachers will learn, and I'm going to read the bullets on the screen right now, use our learning management system to offer the same quality curriculum to all of your students, regardless of their location. Teachers will learn everything from the physical use of the technology to how to show personality and develop community in their online, hybrid, and in-person classrooms. Once trained, your teachers can use the curriculum on their schedule. Again, I'm going to show it, but I believe very strongly that if they experience this once, that it will help to develop the quality of their ability to deliver till they end their career. What they're going to learn while engaging in these classes is extremely valuable and can transfer into other uses. And our teachers are going to tell it best. Another slide of testimonials. I'll give you a chance to look. The common thread here, in my opinion, is community building again, and the ability to take the acquired skills from the teaching and the course content and apply them to building community, no matter where it's conducted. And as I mentioned, it will definitely expand their capabilities as educators in future years. All right, we're going to now address the idea and the hope that you will start your year with confidence. No matter what it's going to look like or how it changes, because we all know that change is the one thing we're going to count on this year, the quality of the curriculum is going to remain a constant. The combination of our curriculum and the training provided, your teachers and students are poised for success, in person, online, hybrid, or with any shift that may occur. Many of us are concerned with students that may join a course mid-year. For example, if a student cannot attend the beginning because of medical reasons or for any reason they are school averse and may join later, you will be able to catch them up and they will have access to everything that the students had prior. It won't be an abbreviated version to bring them up to speed. With our curriculum, there's no concern that a student will miss relevant content that could be important to scaffolding to the next objective. It's available, it's consistent, no matter what situation arises. In our next screen, I'm going to present a graphic from Clemson University. Everyone knows that one of the best practices teachers have is the ability to preview. And previews can take many forms. There are checklists, pre-readings, pre-viewing exercises of all kinds. With our curriculum readily available, students at home and at school can successfully and uniformly practice the best practice of previewing consistently. And what this graphic says above is, for example, if you have 1/3 of your class in person and 2/3 online, the entire class can receive materials beforehand. They can preview and be told what they need to master as the content unfolds. All students can preview the lesson for the day. We will share some samples of lessons coming forward. From my 20 years in the classroom, I know there's nothing more disruptive than absences and trying to accommodate those students, catch them up to speed. And what this example is showing you, with the blue icon being the teacher, is that all content is available beforehand so that your students, no matter where they are learning, can access the preview and hopefully feel more comfortable with what they are learning, obviously have better grades, and the big picture, which is, of course, to develop comfort with online learning that they will need to bring forth into the world. All right, now we're going to delve into a course sneak peek. And I'm very proud to show you what we do. And I do believe that, like I said before, they are the difference, and that our teachers and our courses are the lightning in the bottle. When a student opens their course page, they're going to preview and begin the content. They will see that their teacher has personalized their home page. They give biographical information and ways to contact them in emergencies, giving them a sense of connection to the teacher. This is a whiteboard. If you can think about the brick and mortar building, when a student walks in at the beginning of a class, really early Monday morning, or any point during the week, they're going to see a teacher that is prepared to teach, prepared to provide the content. They have done their work. As the students come in, the students can see what is expected of them as well. It just shows a preparedness, and I think that the students truly appreciate having it all available from the beginning. It's very consistent, and the teachers will provide this on a very timely basis. That is part of the training process. Okay, what you have in front of you now is a screenshot of a weekly overview. Part of the prepared and organized feeling. Every course has an overview for each week. Students and teachers can use this as a guide. This weekly overview is built into every course, and the content is there and ready for teachers to use. There's no lesson planning required. When I was in the classroom, I used to prepare overviews. I used to call them unit overviews, and students would receive them on paper. One benefit of everything is hopefully we're going to save some trees from using so much paper. We will recommend paper be used in certain portions. I will show you that, but most of it is going to be electronically uploaded. Teachers will use this to organize their week, distribute work through hybrid classrooms. Even if the classroom shifts from in-person to hybrid or remote, teachers can structure in their class by working off of the weekly overview each week and help the students stay organized. All right, I'm going to take a quick glance at some of these features on this page. I would like to mention, there's an essential question. How do we write and evaluate algebraic questions? It does say above, under the overview section, bolded words, have a question. I'm going to quickly read that for you. It says discussion topic under the general course topic forum in the discussions area. That is what we call, I guess, in today's world, a question parking lot, that they can put something in if they believe that it is something that the entire class needs to address. And as it says next, there is also a question of a personal nature, that they can leave a post for a private topic and the teacher will respond to that. You're also going to see a couple of words that you recognize as Bloom's taxonomy, a couple of objectives that they will accomplish. And again, I was always into putting those on the board for the week so the students could keep in mind, keep their eyes on the prize, what they were interested in doing and what they would be assessed on in the long run. There's also a checklist, which we would encourage you to print out. And I'm going to show you one of those next. All right, so here's a week 2 checklist. As you can see, there are several features on here that I would like to point out. First of all, they are built into every course, every week. Another great tool to stay on track, no matter what format your classroom is taking at that time. Teachers can use this to help divide up work among remote and in-person students so that they can collaborate asynchronously. In other words, your students at home can actually collaborate with the students in school. And they can have live discussions facilitated by the teacher to bridge the gap. And this student checklist, we would encourage them to print out and stay on track. If a student also works with a specialist, like a special educator or an ELL specialist, this checklist is available for them to show them easily what they need to accomplish. There's a few things that I really like about the content on this page as well, because it does display some interdisciplinary work. If you look at the second row, you'll see that the students are asked to participate in a discussion about the application of algebra in ancient history. That is a fantastic cross-curricular literacy activity. And as you can see in the bold words, it says that it is also to be completed by Friday. This is showcasing our asynchronous piece. So students can be available, or can decide, if you would, when they choose to do their work, what works best for them. And again, students are offered 24-hour support to learn and master the tech skills that they would need. As you can see in the third row, for example, they mention a Dropbox. Students would be able to perfect the ability to upload documents there. In most cases, we encourage students to actually keep their own files of things, but the Dropbox is there. And the beauty of that is they cannot lose it. And I know that I had a lot of students lose papers when I was teaching, and I believe that this eliminates that problem. Everyone will have the content available all the time, and no excuses then. All right, so our next slide is going to talk about blogs and wikis. This is an example of how students can work together online, blogs and wikis. These activities, fun, engaging, and super usable. For example, I know that in AP courses, this is AP Calculus. I've also previewed other AP courses in the catalog. These blogs and wikis are assigned each week, and they learn how to use the technology. And they are also going to be using these, in the case of AP students, to accumulate notes all year. And they, again, it's great that they can't lose them, but more important, they will be able to use these notes to study for that ever important AP Calculus or test, or whatever the AP test is. The way the wikis are done, I think, is very fun, as in a sense that it's a little bit more in detail than a two-sided notebook. You can think of it like a two-sided notebook, but you're going to have straight up definitions or straight up practices, formulas, whatever a student needs to know on one side, and then students can attach pictures or anything else that they feel is appropriate and beneficial for all students to see. It helps to expand everyone's understanding of the subject matter. So I really encourage everyone to try and examine the use of blogs and wikis in their work, and we provide the structure, and we will train your teachers on how to use them. So in our next slide, we are going to be taking a look at some of the discussions. All right, so this is, on the left-hand side, you can see the discussion list, and each week is going to have a discussion. And it says in the above that this is part 2 of the lesson, and you are going to examine the profiles of your classmates and begin to introduce yourself. So each course is has a platform ranged in the same format. Certain students learn how to use it. In the student orientation portion, which is in the first week, and courses are consistent, so training is applicable to all courses. There's no need for students to relearn, no need to learn multiple platforms. And I hate to say it, but I think that's easier on the parents too. When a student, even good students, can find their frustration level rising with all the different free platforms that are out there. And in this case, they just become comfortable with learning this platform, and it definitely reduces the stress for every party involved. In our next slide, we are taking a look at a few key points that I think are impressive about our curriculum. It's relevant to the real world. As we can see, they are going to be using what they learned last week, and they are going to be applying it to the new week's lesson. And this is not a discussion based from student to student, or teacher to student. It's not a sage on the stage, more a guide on the side. As you can see in the highlighted part, as I read, think about things you did and saw over the weekend. Describe one thing that happened to you and how it related to your own physical, social, or mental health. Positive or negative, once again, the teacher is available to field any negative concerns people have. And it goes on to getting started and giving them the information about how they do that. And of course, your expectations are clearly laid out. The lesson is due, and then the Dropbox link. This is actually a really great lesson, the Final Human System Owner Manual. So if we'll take a look here, it says that they have been accumulating, collecting, and posting data about the human body system. Every student would get a different one. Today you will put the finishing touches on your magnum opus, and below are, of course, the expectations. And I love the fact that this is actually kind of a Common Core piece. In other words, being able to look and create look at a manual and create a manual is very basic literacy skills. Again, cross-curricular learning literacy exercise. Under expectations, in the second paragraph, it does suggest to the students the following. Your owner's manual should be just that, a manual for anyone interested in the care and maintenance of the body system that you have been assigned to explore. Your project should be designed as if it were an owner's manual. And it goes on to suggest you go grab your owner's manual from the car or from an electronic device and use it as your model. And again, like I said, this is Common Core and wonderful literacy exercise, as well as informative about the human body. And as I mentioned before, your students will see their expectations, what the work assignment is worth, and when it needs to be posted. Folks, that is the end of my official presentation. I have my contact information up here for you to see. And please take down my cell number that's available to you and my email address. Our website, if you have not accessed it, which I think most of you already have, is available to you as well. I would be happy at this point to see if I can field any questions for anyone. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was my pleasure to present to all of you. I very much hope that I can have the opportunity to speak with as many of you as I can. And thank you once again for your support and your outreach to VHS Learning. And we look forward to hearing from you, and we wish you all a successful and confident year. Thank you.